Talked to Lane Kiffin coming out of the locker room at halftime. I asked him what he told Jay Coker. He said it was simple. Step up in the pocket and stand tall. Stop running around the rush. That's what's creating sacks, and that's what's limiting the opportunities. He said he told his quarterback, if we don't commit turnovers, we're going to win this game.
I'll say it. I can't monetize these videos anyway. Just go f*** it.
They hand it to the Heisman winner, and he plows forward for about 4.
Handoff right here to big Derrick Henry, and we are slipping the running back into the flat. All right, first time we've shown this. This is a good double right here by Kelly in 71, but these are Clemson's defensive linemen. They are ridiculous. Look at this from an LSU perspective. With Sam Leavitt, this defensive end just cannot crash down as hard. He just can't do it. All right, so with Leavitt, this end is not flying down as hard. At the same time, Derrick Henry is going to draw a lot of attention. So this would be a better run if we had a quarterback that was actually a threat.
We're making him hold on to the football.
They flip it to Drake in the flat. Stiff arm, nice move around the edge by Drake.
But this play call is Iceman level greatness. You see what I did there? Because this is Drake slipping into the flat here. And we are basically showing the exact same play. This is the same exact look. Drake going into the flat, handoff here, or fake handoff to Derrick Henry. But it's not just that. The blocking on the outside is what makes this really, really, really fascinating, all right? So it's cut off here, but there's 2 receivers to the right side. And the best way to block this, in my opinion, especially with the running back like Kenyon Drake, who moves like a wide receiver, have our inside guy come after the safety, our outside guy go to the number 2 corner right here, and then have Kenyon Drake have to break the tackle of the outside corner. So we're getting even a better matchup here with this blocking style. And what happens? All right, we get Drake versus a corner, and he treats him like Kendrick. Just puts him off to the side, and it's an easy first down.
That first down.
2-by-2 look. They fake it to Henry. Coker loops it downfield. Howard is wide open, and the tight end will waltz to the end zone.
All right, did you see him at the end? Did you see Lane? I'll show you really quickly. Okay. Now, think about where you are as a Clemson defense. So the first half play calling from Lane featured basically everything you can think of in a college football playbook. It had a lot of different things. And for the first time in this game, we then see twins left, twins right in a stack. All right, we take Kenyon Drake out of the game, and you could see the safety is leaning into the box because they had been smashing them with inside runs with Derrick Henry, and they're just outnumbered. Something else that makes this play really, really, really good is Alabama's screen game in this game had been effective. Remember that Calvin Ridley red zone screen. So it's just a fake screen and go, and it's just really bad safety play and just numbers. You didn't account for it. And then something else that makes this really, really, really good from an LSU perspective and an Ole Miss perspective is Lane's offensive lines have not really been all that great at Ole Miss, but he's still able to get vertical because his play calling is so good. He schemes things so wide open. You can see here the protection here wasn't the best. You get a little bit of a loop over the middle where this DT 94 is able to get through this A gap and generate a lot of pressure. You also have Derrick Henry going away from it as well on this play action fake. And you can see safety's eyes are in the backfield. O.J. Howard acts like he's blocking, and then he's gone. All right, it's just that simple. It's an easy throw for Jacob Coker. And here's something else. This defensive end already has 3 sacks. He has really good interior pressure. But because the play call is so good and so well sequenced, it simply doesn't matter. Jacob Coker wide open. And, well, you guys know who that is. Has Lane Kiffin ever run up and down the sideline before?
Build on a 4-point lead. Coker under center. It's play action. Again, holding the ball too long, getting sacked.
This is bad. All right, this is just not the best here from Lane. You've already given up a few sacks on heavy play action on first down. I understand trying to go for a big, big, big kill shot here, but man, you just could not block Dodd And with this heavy play action, he had already seen that you had been going into heavy play action, deep passes, so he was playing the pass the entire way. And there's really not a whole lot Jacob Coker can do. After a heavy play action, you got to just take that sack. You've got to be more sympathetic to under center play action where your back turns to the defense, right? That makes it that much harder. So even if something was immediately open, that is so hard to immediately process. I do, however, think in Lane's defense, even though I called him out for this play call, it was really good. All right, there are a lot of things wide open. So we have the blocking tight end in this game, and look at what happens. Boom. I mean, that is as open as it gets. Then we get to here. All right. Let's see, this logo is just getting in the way here. That's not open, but this dig to Calvin. Oh my God. Dear Heavenly Father. Whew. That's a big one too. So, I get it. I get what Lane's doing, but, it's tough. Now, what Lane could also say here is even with that heavy play action, could a better quarterback actually get through this and get it to this tight end or just scramble or find Ridley? I don't know. But things were just gaping open there.
And that kind of pass protection in space, doesn't he? Henry, short gain. 15 needed on third down, and Henry again. Another flag comes in as he's
4:42 to go here in the third quarter. All of a sudden, Death Valley starting to feel like it's alive here in the desert.
Clemson.
All right, so now you become more predictable. You're losing by 3. You don't want to do another play action, heavy, deep pass set. So hand the football off to Derrick Henry and live with the results. Perfectly fine with that first down play call. We get a couple.
They move the pocket, and Howard is wide open again. The tight end rumbling across the 35.
God, it's just so good. All right, so you run with Derrick Henry on first down. You saw in the first half these tight end slips into the flats can be very explosive. And we bring in the blocking tight end offensive tackle type in 89. So we are really showing a heavy run look right here. And look at how many guys Clemson commits to this box while also maintaining too high integrity right here. So with that, where's the open space? It's right over here. All right, so heavy outside zone. Once again, we've shown a lot of outside zone runs in part 1. The outside zone story looks the same. All right, so if you're an end, you could see that this end who was the guy that has 3 sacks, Dodd, was playing the running back the entire time when his responsibility was actually the quarterback. So if he had actually played this a little bit better, this is part of the gravity of having Derrick Henry. If he plays the quarterback the entire way, this becomes a more difficult play for him to make, Jacob Coker. But since it's so open, I think he still gets it done. And look at all this space, all right? It's ridiculous.
Henry, just nowhere to run. The middle is...
Good job of disguising and mixing up the looks tonight.
Coker rolls and delivers a low throw. It's been a very...
I understand it sounds like I'm piling, especially if you watch round 1. This offensive line had a brutal night versus Clemson. They really did. Roll out, thrown against your body. It's an awkward throw, but it's one you really need to make, especially when your right tackle's struggling. A little rollout to the left can help him out. And we just undershoot our Darius Stewart. He probably still should catch this. Alabama, average yards to go on third down, 9.4, and they still have 21 points. And they're still 6 of 12. It's ridiculous play calling.
Here comes the pressure. Coker gets protection, delivers, and it's off the hands of Mullaney.
Finally, we get really good protection. We get really good quarterback play right here from Jacob Coker. All right, so what did Lane say at halftime? Jacob, we can't have you tiptoeing, scooting back all the way to Metairie. Plant your damn feet and make a good throw. All right, so you can see Coker holds on to this as long as he possibly can, waits for the comeback to clear, and look at this ball. Boom, goes straight through his hands. It goes straight through his hands. It's a bad drop.
Coker standing on the goal line. Henry. And attack.
God, good run design here. Get back to what was working, which was this jet sweep motion. Just give it a little bit of eye candy here and run this thing to the left side. Man, this ends up being a really nice block. And goodness gracious, give the corner a lot of credit. He sees that Stewart doesn't have it, and he's able to cut back across the green and make a... Man, that might have been a touchdown saver, if we're being honest, because this gets blocked, and then it's Derrick Henry. So good job right there.
Henry again. Trainers. Coker in the pocket. Delivers for Ridley, but it's off target. Incomplete, and Bama will have to punt.
Oh, man. All right, I have been critical of Lane's body language in the past. But, you know, if you're watching this at home and you're not, especially as the game moves on, it's different than if you're watching this and you've actually coached or if you're coaching in the game, because you realize how poorly Jacob Coker is playing. I mean, this is wide open. Wide open. We'll give you another angle of this. But look at how pissed Lane is. I would be furious. You see Minkah Fitzpatrick right here. We're playing for the damn Natty. He's like, come on, man. Knock this throw down, big dog. That's still, I mean, Natty on the line, one hand out. I mean, I could get a little better effort there. It's a bad throw, though. All right, look at Nick. Look at Nick. Oh, man. Oh, man. Just let me enjoy Alabama suffering just a few extra times here.
1 yards. So many times in games, this is the quarter where he's begun to take over. They fake it to him there. Coker rolling out. Delivers a hard throw and a catch made by Darius Stewart. Finally, he's...
PHL Nation, I've got a big problem. Doing all these Lane film studies with all his other teams just makes me sick. So with Prize Picks, I'm going to blow off some steam here, and I am going to take the less option of every non-Tiger. So we have Myles Garrett. I'm actually going to go more on Myles because he never actually was good versus LSU. We pretty much shut him down all 3 games. Him and Johnny Manziel. How about that? Johnny doesn't have any plays we could make here. Obviously, JSN, we never really played against him. But Dak Prescott, we did. So we're going to go less there. We're going to go less for Jahmyr Gibbs. I like me some Jahmyr Gibbs. And Jackson Dart. We're going to go more for Dart because that's Lane's guy. Let's do 5 to win 50 with the flex. And we're going to submit this lineup. What have we seen since that first down sack with those play actions? We show 2 consecutive first down runs to start drives. Then we show the same exact run style, little outside zone to the left, heavy play action here to the right. And what happens? Look at all of this space. All right, the corner flies off the edge here. Trying to figure out what the corner's responsibility was here. If you're flying off the edge, rarely are you flying off the edge and just dropping this far back. If you're blitzing, just get after the QB. But you could see Lane has 2 things open. Now, I understand Derrick Henry generates a lot of gravity. I get that. But this to O.J. Howard is open, but we want to throw this deep vertical to our Darius Stewart. Man, that's as easy as it gets. I mean, there are so many throws in this game that your backup QB could have made. Your just a typical non-P4 quarterback could have been able to make. Now, we hurry up to the line of scrimmage. You could see only 13 seconds are off the play clock, and we just line up, and you can see Clemson's trying to get a call in. This time we actually run outside zone to the right side. And that's the thing that's very interesting about this game is that outside zone wasn't overly effective.
A lot of evidence of that tempo tonight.
Of course, they see it a lot in practice, but some teams have hurt the Tigers with some tempo. Stewart, drop for a loss.
All right. I really like this. I really like this play call from Lane. All right, so this was the same formation. You just hit that deep touchdown to O.J. Howard. You can see they have a cap now. All right, so if you were going to, let's just say you were trying to run that same play, now we get what we want, right? We don't mind them getting out. This was not the best bounce read. Once again, if this is Sam Levitt, Trinidad, or anyone else, this is a little bit easier for Derrick Henry because guess what? We would have a 2-on-1 right here. If we can actually play true zone read with the quarterback that can move, all right, man, I would have at least told Jacob Coker once to pull one of these, but I have no idea why Derrick Henry decided to bounce this, especially with the pre-snap look there. Ugh.
Tonight for that offensive line. They bring pressure up the middle. Coker leans back, looks downfield for Stewart. He's got it.
The defining throw of Jacob Coker's career is right here. So your best player just made a mistake, and everything has been schemed up to you. All right? Are there a few throws where you could say, yeah, that was all Jacob Coker? Maybe. This was all Jacob Coker. First off, what Clemson does in the Natty, they like to bring heavy A-gap blitzes from their linebackers. Ask Joe Burrow about that. Jacob Coker sees that he has a safety versus his second best receiver. All right, you also have it on this side as well. All right. You can see the protection does eventually break down. God, this honestly is really, really, really difficult to sort out up the middle. Alabama did a good job of it. It's a double A-gap blitz, but we are twisting these blitzers. So trying to get a 2-on-1, getting him wrapped around, boom. All right, that's really difficult right there. But Coker sees it. It's actually an out and up. All right, so our Darius Stewart sells the out, and then he goes up. And look at when Jacob Coker is actually throwing this football, y'all. Goodness gracious. Just planting his feet in the mother effing ground and flinging that bad boy up. This is one of the best throws you will ever see. Point blank, period. And he's getting hit low? God bless. God. Like, that's as good of a throw. I mean, that's Burrow level. All right? I love this play calling first. Let's get the football back to Derrick Henry. Just pound this bad boy up in here. All right?
Coker loops it for the end zone. Jump ball incomplete.
Calvin Ridley's just got to come down with this. I mean, this is what separates him from, the upper echelon of all-time great receivers. Julio's, Jamar's, Larry Fitzgerald's. They're making this catch. This is a really well-thrown ball, floated up really high in the air. Our alpha's just got to go up there and just win. Give 21 a lot of credit for making a good play there as well.
He also tried arms.
In your view,
That turned his head, and that's
And you could argue there was too much air under it.
beneficial.
on 3rd down and 8, Coker fires over the middle, trying to get the ball.
All right. You go from really good quarterbacking to absolutely positively horrendous quarterbacking and just way, way, way better defense. All right, so you get the first down, run stop. You get the drop-ish but really good play by the defense on 2nd down. You simply cannot do this as a quarterback. They're playing very soft zone. They're twisting their guys around, and boom, you get a lot of pressure right here. The right side of your offensive line's been getting caved in. You simply have to just feel this out and extend it. All right, it's really hard to say that, or it's really easy to say that with where I'm sitting compared to where Jacob Coker is in the middle of a national championship game. But with this much traffic, this should never, ever, ever be thrown. All right, now being, 6'4", Jacob Coker, you can get this football over these defensive linemen. But, man, this is up there with one of the worst one of the worst decisions I've seen. He airmails it, thankfully, but that very easily could have been picked if it was an accurate throw. and it's incomplete. So Alabama dodges a big bullet there.
64 yards in 8 plays. The big 3rd and 11 conversion to Stewart, the key play. And now an onside kick. Griffith, and it's caught. And Alabama's got the ball back.
All right, so Alabama gets a onside kick. Was that better than my Hoodats? Speaking of, you're currently watching this. I am in Italy right now, spreading the love of the Hoodat Nation as the Saints are now affiliated with the country of Italy.
Capitalize.
It's been Sweeney with special teams trickery. That fake punt pass against the Sooners. Now it's Saban's turn. A lot of shifting from the time. Play clock at 5. All that to hand it to Henry, who again is hit in the backfield and cannot escape drop stops this season for Clemson. Again, getting in there. Drake spelling Henry now, and Coker looks downfield again. Wide open is Howard for his 2nd long touchdown tonight.
Man, it's hard for me to really diagnose this coverage. This looks as if this becomes an inverted cover 3 where the deep safety, or excuse me, okay, I'm trying to diagnose what exactly this is. It looks as if this is cover 3, but with Tampa principles, right? Normally, when you run something called Tampa 2, you have 2 deep safeties fan out, and the linebacker becomes a deep middle player. But what Clemson likes to do is run Tampa, but this corner is the deep third, and this corner is a deep third, and the backer here becomes the deep middle. I don't know the exact name for that. I'm not Corey Alexander. So basically, the safety's not just letting O.J. Howard go. My best guess is this corner gets occupied by Kenyon Drake running the wheel, and he should be capping this route right here from O.J. Howard. Jacob Coker sees it, and it's wide open. Boom. All right. I think that was more coverage busty than any kind of great call, but it's the formational stuff. I remember Nick in College Game Day when he was breaking down some lane film.
Same, so he knows he has the same. But again, this is easy for the quarterback, and it's all created by the formation.
Tigers defense is going to have to stop Henry and company. Drake makes a cut, gets the corner. Look out, Kenyon Drake can fly. Eludes the kicker and will not be caught. Touchdown, Drake.
He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball instead of the inside rent to Renfro.
All right, Kirby Smart and Nick Saban not holding up their end of the bargain. How about that? So, as you can see, I've been doing the film study a little bit different. And if it's in your heart's desire, if you're watching this on a premiere right now, please drop a Venmo or Cash App donation.
Henry hit in the backfield and dropped by.
This time, it looks as if Jacob Coker checked into this outside zone run. And it's a good check. Honestly, if you ask me, you can see that this side of the line of scrimmage is heavily populated by Clemson defenders. They have more than one guy to account for pretty much every gap over here. So we check into outside zone to the weak side, and all we really need is a semi-decent block here. 76, who's just been getting ran through in this game. If we're running outside zone, we don't necessarily mind if we get beat to the inside. We just can't get beat that clean to where he can get off this block and get over to Derrick Henry. And there he is just sitting there, and 76 is just, ugh. So now,
Monster orange.
This is on lane. We just cannot blow another timeout in the second half of a close game. Only up 5, and now you call it. And you can even get into a conversation where you want to just take this 5-yard penalty and make it 2nd and 18 while preserving that timeout, but that's not here nor there.
This is the biggest call of the night for Lane Kiffin.
You talked about Lane Kiffin. Many eyebrows are raised and comments made when Saban hired Kiffin, who had, of course, been fired at USC. we wonder, could these two work together? They have for a couple of years, but now he's waited 10 years, Kirk. This is a big moment for him and for his quarterback. They flip it to Howard, and the big man gets the edge and gets rumbled again. O.J. Howard, tight roping, and shoved out inside the 20.
It's kind of, I like Kirk Herbstreit so much. Him saying, hey, this is going to be one of the biggest play calls of his life. And we get to hear. All right. So if I'm Clemson here, I'm thinking this is a run. So we motion O.J. Howard into the box to get an extra hat. And what do? Remember, on a lot of these runs, we had been showing jet sweeps. We've been showing tight end split zoning across the way. This time we slip it. What has been the most profitable play per play attempt? It's been slip throws into the flats to O.J. Howard. You're 2 for 2 on it. This time, this ends up being a really good throw right here by Coker. It's very simple, but you got to get it over Shaq Lawson and lead him to where he's not really slowing down. Get really good blocks on the outside here. Actually, this was not the best block by Calvin Ridley, who did not have his best day at the office. At the same time, if you want to try and beat us to the inside here, we'll take it. So this was a lot more on O.J. Howard than that block. You also get a little lucky here that Calvin Ridley gets whipped so badly on this block that he falls and he ends up tripping the safety who took a bad angle as well. All right, Clemson's tackling left a lot to be desired. So you actually got lucky that Calvin Ridley blew that block. That's what really turned this into a big gain. And then O.J. Howard. Will this be trade as green next season? Trade as, if you're watching this, you should be pretty hyped up. Now, I want to also show you the end zone angle, at least at the beginning of this. If you had been watching this entire film study, you can understand how difficult this is for a defense to decipher. We had been showing so many Derrick Henry runs that had been getting stuffed, and, well, you still got to account for it, right? So that just helps with this play as well. And there you go. Look at Lane. Come on, Lane. Come on, Lane. Lane, you got to stay in my camera angle, buddy. Get after it. Now
they feed Henry. And this
really good stuff from Lane in a few different ways, all right? So big, chaotic play in the national championship game. O.J. Howard is so gassed that you have to take him out, so you got to bring in another tight end. And you also bring in your heavy set blocking tight end, and you're able to still get it off before the play clock. That's part of it as well. We just don't want to blow another timeout. And we get a good run right here from Derrick on first.
huge
A 3-field goal.
Tide will work every bit of that play clock. Coker up under center. Henry makes a cut and muscles down.
Really good run here on second. You can also see that Alabama was so out of sorts right here. I think Lane would tell you that he would have liked this operation to be a lot cleaner. But it is a little bit more difficult when you have blocking tight end, your other blocking tight end, and this is more of an offensive lineman wearing a tight end's number, and you're barely getting these calls off before the play clock. You also want a bleed clock when you have this lead as well. And this time you're running counter GY to the right. All right, you've only been running it to the left. So, man, this ends up getting blocked pretty well. If we get a better block right here from 71 coming across, if we can climb up and get him to the inside, this ends up being a better run. Derrick pounds it up in there, and it sets up this 3rd and 3.
4 quarters of leaving everything out there, and we come down to a 3rd and 3.
Confusion. They'll have to spend a timeout, Alabama. Howard was not where Coker wanted him to be.
All right, so here's Lane Kiffin's play sheet. Screenshot this. Let's see if you can pick up any calls off of this. All right, I guarantee you this whole side are the flood variations Lane likes to run. Okay? So what's this call going to be? I actually forgot this play call. I went through and rewatched this game. And
Jay Howard, the big plays downfield, but now back to this third and a short 3. Bootleg. Coker cuts it back. Dives. First and goal.
what a call. It's the same thing. We are going to show outside zone to the left. And if I'm Clemson, I'm thinking this is actually going to go to Derrick Henry. It's third, as they said, in a short 3. All right. Outside zone. Fake it. And you could see this time, Clemson really sells out to stop this. All right. Look at how hard they are running. They're saying, hey, we're not going to let Derrick Henry decide the national championship game. And, oh, buddy. It was there. But this was actually a really good job right here by Jacob Coker. Remember a minute ago where the defensive end did not play Derrick Henry the entire time? Dodd, who is so freaking good in this game. This time he plays Coker, right? Remember a minute ago he completely sold out, and they're trying to run the same play they ran to O.J. Howard a little bit earlier. Okay? This time Dodd is right there, and this to O.J. Howard is not open. Okay? This also looks open to Calvin Ridley, and it is. That's a very difficult throw in this spot. Normally, the coverage defender is going to stick with them there. Something else about Jacob Coker, I would love what Lane told. I would have loved to have known what Lane told Jacob in this spot. I'm also telling Jacob, hey, there's a lot of value in just running and going to pick this up yourself because it forces Clemson to call a timeout. And incompletion here is absolutely brutal. All right, so keeping it here, even if, let's just say Dodd was able to make this play right here, if he's able to shoestring him falling down and them having to burn another timeout and you kicking a field goal to go up 8 in that spot's not the worst thing either. So incompletion just completely kills things. All right, smart move by Jacob to go pick it up, and he's able to do just that.
Along with the big 2 defensive linemen on the left side.
Henry dives again short. That might actually be good for Alabama because they can.
Something else in this spot, I'm telling Derrick to not reach the ball at all. All right, you can see he leaves his feet and he starts to reach the ball out. I would have told him just to eat it. All right, fumble here is absolutely brutal. Earlier in the game, reaching is a little bit better, but still, he gets stopped. Man, it's so much better for Clemson if you would have just let him score.
140-pound tight end in. Sneak. No. No signal. Coker stopped short. But again, the clock will continue to tick down. Henry. No! Stuffed. Stopped by Clemson.
Remember, Clemson cannot stop the clock.
All right. Derrick Henry stopped. Did he actually get in here? Let's see. He did. Oh, man.
Finally. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I got him.
Some Crimson Gatorade. They did a good job.
So Nick wins the natty. And Lane's best play call of the entire night. Good old-fashioned victory formation. Boom. Now, what made this game so unfreaking believably special by Lane Kiffin? Now, I do want to reiterate that if you are watching this live, it is very important to watch part 1. Did Jacob Coker in the second half of this game make some redonkulous plays? Yes, the throw to Ardarius Washington on 3rd and 11 was really, really, really good. Obviously, the run on 3rd and 3, also very good. But most of what actually happened was Lane Kiffin's play calling. Obviously, Nick didn't have a great day defensively, nor did Kirby. It's also Deshaun freaking Watson, who's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen in this sport. But this should excite you, right? This was Lane 10 years ago as an offensive play caller. And it goes to show you how freaking good this guy is, all right? Did you know Jacob Coker threw for over 300 yards only once all year? And it was this game. Did you know that in the next season, Alabama went to the national championship with a true freshman quarterback in Jalen Hurts? Now, a lot of that was Alabama's defense. You can make a case that 2016 defense was the best we've ever seen, but they still made the Natty, and with Jalen Hurts at quarterback, they put up 31 points. Remember, this era of Clemson defenses were truly some of the best defenses we have ever seen in college football history, and Lane put up 31 on them. Did you know, in the 12 seasons of college football playoff action, you take a look at the 24 teams that have reached the national championship game, the two lowest quarterbacks in ESPN QBR, 2015 Jacob Coker and 2016 Jalen Hurts. And they both balled out of control in the national championship game. And it's in large part due to some of the best play calling you have ever seen.